Welcome back, 8th grade. This video is one of the shorter ones in the entire chapter, okay? So we should be done here in about 10 minutes. So we have two basic concepts that we're working with, parallel lines and perpendicular lines. Parallel lines, by definition, are two lines that never ever meet. Not ever, okay? So these lines are going to pass on infinitely in each direction, but they will never cross each other, okay? Perpendicular lines are two lines that intersect at 90-degree angles, which means this symbol here has to show up at least once, because we learned that if this is 90, this angle down here has to be 90 as well because they match up. And if this angle is 90, this one has to be 90 because they match up. And if this one's 90, this one's 90, this one has to be 90. Okay, because they're all supplementary angles with each other. So you can just write in one of the squares, and that means these angles are perpendicular with each other. So let's take a look at our vocab. Alrighty, we have parallel lines are two lines who have the same slope. And I would like you to write in here that these never intersect. Okay. Perpendicular lines are two lines that intersect at a right angle. Okay. So we just worked on. Now, this is going to be a transversal. It's going to be a line that intersects two or more lines who lie in the same plane. It means that a transversal is a line that crosses two other lines. That's all it means. And we'll get into much more detail as we work through this. Okay? So, parallel lines are two lines that never meet, perpendicular, intersect at 90-degree angles. A transversal is a line that cuts two parallel lines. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be parallel, but it usually is parallel. Okay, so it cuts that two usually parallel lines. Now, the red line down here is our transversal. Do you see how we have line 1 here and line 2 here are both being cut by the same red line. Alrighty, so let's take a look here. We have a transversal that's running down the center here, okay? And then we have two lines that are parallel to each other running through there. Now, I'd like to talk about these three terms down here. Now, corresponding are going to be the same color. Okay, these are the most important. So you see how we have two separate pieces here? Okay, if we honestly, let me see if I can remember how to do this. Bring the shutter down here. Okay, so if I have the shutter, I have this piece right here. Okay, we have basically a weird looking X. Okay, now if I brought the shutter down here and brought this up, and if it wants to go here, I'm having some trouble getting this to work. All right, we're going to have to go the other way. So we have the shutter here. When we move up, we have the exact same grouping. It's just higher on the line. So what that means is the top left angle here has to be the top left angle here. And the top right angle here has to be the top right angle there. We call those corresponding. Okay? And the important thing about corresponding is they have the same measure. That means angle 1 and angle 2 are equal to each other. Angle 3 and angle 4 are equal to each other. Angle 5 and 5 and 6 and 6. Okay, I didn't even change those numbers. Alrighty, so they're same color, same measure. Alternate interior are going to be the ones that are on the inside. So if you looked at this as a top piece and a bottom piece, on the inside are interior angles. Now, alternate means opposite. So 2 and 6 are going to be alternate interiors, and these are going to add up to, make sure I get this right, I think they add up to 180, almost positive. Yes. Okay, so they add up to 180 degrees. So we know that angle 2 and angle 6 add up to 180, 5 and 4 add up to 180. Okay? Alternate exterior, if you think this is the inside, this is obviously the outside, this is the outside, that means that these alternate, meaning opposite, also add up to 180. That means 5 and 3 add up to 180, and 1 and 6 add up to 180. Okay, so we have corresponding are the most important. That's the same color, same spot, same measure. Alternate interior, opposite inside, those add up to 180, and alternate exterior, opposite outside, add up to 180. All right. So what we want to figure out here is what do each of these 7 measurements equal? Now, easiest way to figure this out is we know angle 1, okay, is going to be supplementary with 120 degrees. So we know that this has to be 60 because 60 plus 120 equals 180. Okay? So this is 60. Okay, and now we know that 2 has to be 120 for the exact same reason up here. And then, of course, angle 3 has to be 60 for the exact same reason once again. But here's the problem. We have to be able to figure out what all the ones on the bottom equal because we can't transfer them over. But we know that angle 1 and angle 4 are both in the top left, and they're corresponding. Corresponding have to be equal to each other, so angle 4 is 60. Okay, then angle 5 matches with 120 degrees, so that has to be 120. Then 6 has to be 120, and 7 has to be 60, all for the same reasoning. So that's it. There you go. Alrighty. Now, let's try one more, and then I'll have you do one. Okay? So, this is 65. So we need to figure out when 1 equals here. So we need 180 minus 65, which is 115. So we know that 1 right here is 115 degrees. Well, if we know that's 115, this has to be 65 for the same reasoning. And if that's 65, this has to be 115 for the same reasoning. And now we're going to use corresponding to tell us that this has to be 65, this has to be 115, this has to be 115, and this has to be 65. Okay? And they will all match up like that. So, I'm going to have you try your own now. So pause the video. This right here is an 89. It's hard to see. Let me rewrite it. 89 degrees. So pause. Alrighty, so we're back. And let me give you the answer to this one real quick. Hey, if this is 89, this has to be 91 because it's equal to 180. This has to be 89. And this has to be 91. Corresponding tells us this is 91. This is 89, this is 91, and this is 89. Okay? This batch looks the same as this batch. Alrighty, so let's look at our problems here. This is set 1, and this is set 2. You have to get 9 correct in each set to move on. Alrighty?